This year we celebrate the 250 years anniversary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Denmark. I've had the privilege of being part of that journey for more than 30 years. My name is Lars Thuesen and I'm the Danish ambassador to United Kingdom. On 24th of December 1770, King Christian VII of Denmark formally established the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, spearheading Denmark's international engagement. Initially, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs posted its largely male and titled employees from Danish nobility in capitals that were particularly important, including London, of course. They didn't get paid, so they needed a personal fortune if they wanted to join the Foreign Service. Today we do get paid, and our Foreign Service is present in more than 100 locations, and our staff comprises of approximately 2,500 people with various backgrounds, experience and nationalities. My first posting was in Mexico City from 91 to 94. At that time there was no internet, no email systems, and telephone calls to Copenhagen were extremely expensive. The highlight of the week was Friday afternoon when the diplomatic bag arrived from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs full of letters and instructions to the embassy. But the diplomatic bag was also full of Danish newspapers. The ambassador was the first in line, then the deputy, etc., etc. So the newspapers were often several weeks old when the last one in line got the chance to read the news from Denmark. It did create some tensions at the embassy. We had a ship radio with a huge antenna on the roof as our primary mean of communication with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I quickly learned how to say Roger, over and out, and the radio could also send and receive encrypted messages through a very complicated procedure. We also used the normal telex machine, and a huge step forward was when the telefax finally was invented and arrived at the embassy. During my second posting to Madrid 5 years later, in 1999, the means of communications had changed completely. The internet was up and running, and the email system was our primary mean of communication. And the mobile phone was always in the pocket. It changed all aspects of our daily work. As you all know, the Danish-British connection go back much further than 250 years. We have been trading with each other for a very long time, including when my Viking ancestors came to these shores. Well, they didn't only involve in trade, but that's another story for another time. Vikings were not very welcome, and for good reasons. And 500 years later, the English took revenge. In 1689, Robert Molesworth was appointed ambassador to Denmark. I think it's safe to say that he didn't contribute very much to the positive development of our diplomatic relations. In a report to London, he wrote that the Danish language is very ungrateful and not unlike the Irish in its whining, complaining tone. He characterized the King's House of Residence as the worst in the world. And on the Danes' drinking habits, he wrote, "As soon as dinner is done, the Danes adjourn to the wine cellar." Well, who said that diplomats have to be diplomatic? Through the last 250 years, the ministry's core task has been to promote Danish interest abroad. Although the overarching aim remains the same today, the nature of the work and the world have changed markedly over the past decades. In the Danish Ministry of Foreign Affairs of today, we work with all aspects of foreign policy. An example of the continuing development of our international agenda is climate, which is now a central and integrated part of Danish foreign policy and the work of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs at home and abroad. Over the next 5 years, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs aims to become one of the world's 5 most sustainable foreign services. The goal is to reduce the ministry's carbon footprint and incorporate sustainability into every aspect of our day-to-day work. The embassy here in London is also a climate front post, working passionately to become even more sustainable. We also look forward to COP26 in Glasgow next year, where there will be a strong Danish presence and a keen focus on dealing with the challenges climate change poses to all of us. Like so many other issues on the world stage, we are in it together. On that note, I'm sure the excellent relations between Denmark and the UK will continue. The strong diplomatic bond built over the last 250 years is a very solid foundation on which to continue an ever-deepening relationship between our two countries.